in life, you have multiple opportunities, but I am not going to give myself those opportunities. I don't know, I hope I'm not a black and white thinker, but it would be just the neatest thing if people would, like for people that make films, if they don't worry about things being exactly perfect, they just hold on a moment. Oh, wait. I guess it's just okay. So for people that make films, if they are so concerned with things having to be absolutely perfect, absolutely a certain way, excuse me. Just shut the door real quick. Okay, now, let me just adjust myself here a certain way, and I will just leave it that way. Okay, so, as I was saying, losing attachment. Well, not necessarily doing that here. I guess I'm just gonna sit on my robe. Okay. So I'm talking about losing attachment, and right now I am very attached. Oh, okay, that was the problem. I was sitting on one of my little things. Gosh. Okay. Good grief. Alright, so I'm good. But so, what if, as I was saying before, a filmmaker just decided, hey, we are not going to do retakes. Let's just film this scene, this process, this shoot, this segment, and whatever it is, it'll be what it is, and everybody's going to see it. That way, no camera, energy storage, memory is necessarily wasted, because you just keep doing one thing over again, and then over again and over again, and it ends up being you just use energy off of the thing. You just lose energy. And, I realize sort of the arena in which this is going out. But I have decided Saturn is in Aquarius. It has been for the past couple of years. Last year, the beginning of last year, end of the year before then. So so Saturn entered Aquarius March 2020. It stayed there for a brief time, retrograded back into Capricorn, re-entered Aquarius December 17th, 2020, and met up with Jupiter conjuncted at 0 degrees in Aquarius. So both Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius, the Great Conjunction, the winter solstice in the if you're living in the northern hemisphere, December 21st, 2020, and then it remained there up until now. And Aquarius is about freedom. It doesn't want to just fit the status quo of, oh, you have to walk in this line, you have to march, and this is what's expected of you. This is what you have to do. This is the meal that you have to eat. These are the rules you have to follow. These are the steps that you have to take in order to achieve this. Step by step by step, up that ladder. Well, Aquarius is the reinventor of so many things. So many things. And Saturn presents a challenge, presents an obstacle, presents an opportunity for us to truly evolve and to truly become better human beings. I am not going to worry about being right or wrong and restraining myself. You know, because when I restrain myself, the video doesn't feel as fun to do. When I don't restrain myself and I am uninhibited, and me uninhibited is pretty ethical in terms of how I speak, because I don't curse or, do anything like that. But, does it feel fulfilling? Does it feel exciting, entertaining, nourishing, or does it not? Are you censoring or guarding yourself? It's like so many different versions of yourself that, one way you present one way you present yourself this way, and then another way present yourself that way. It's like, it gets so complicated. And with the north node of the moon, which is where we're supposed to go in Taurus, it's like, simplify your life. And Taurus is square to Aquarius, the old versus the new, argument. But, coming out of the Saturn and Aquarius obstacle, I started a YouTube channel, and I have created songs and then put the songs out there for people to listen to. So I'd say that would be breaking out of freedom, but it didn't feel too risky to do that. It just sort of came about, that I started a YouTube channel. If I didn't put videos out publicly for people, it would be very limiting. It would feel like I would be holding myself back. And with the Saturn and Aquarius, do not. I was seeing a comment by somebody the other day, 2 days ago. The comment was in response to one of the songs that I did. It was nice voice, avant guy. I believe that was what the comment was, and I thought that was really, really neat. And I don't know, it just feels like part of the channel to do song videos. It just does. Certain inspirations just come about, certain themes, certain aspects, areas sort of cobble together into what can be for, what can make for, a certain song that I'm singing, composing. I have a song for Saturn and Pisces that I did, and I also have a song for Saturn retrograde in Aquarius. It's a certain, and then one for Mercury retrograde as well that you can go listen to. So certain songs over astrology, but a bunch of other things as well, a bunch of other topics and areas to go into. And I think one of my biggest songs would be Malika's Hut, which is this song about, if you were traveling, a voyage or an adventure, or traveling in the lands of, Africa, let's say, and you were very, you've taken in so much. You have scanned out the horizons. You have gone on so many quests, on so many adventures. But now it's time to slow down and reflect and stop for a moment and look around, smell the roses, to take a pause and just enjoy the bounty of your surroundings, basically. And going into this hut of where this woman, Malika, would nourish you and, take little, ointment, rub your legs, laying down, having it, getting your feet wet, just chilling out and then setting off again. So you can go listen to that song as well. But so, yeah. So those are all areas that are going to be very, prevalent. I mean, there's so many different things. But so, just releasing attachment to wanting to get this right, wanting to say the right thing, say the right line, like if you're in a stage, performing on a movie or whatever, you have lines, and to say them correctly and to practice them over and over again, but not to over practice them, because what happens when you over practice something? It becomes dull, it becomes tiresome, it becomes meaningless after a while. It does. You've exhausted the throw. I mean, just practice it enough where, okay, I've got this. And go out like, oh, you're just making it up. You're just being spontaneous, not that it's forced, not that, you've done it so many times that it's just like, to you, that's how it feels, but to the audience, definitely not. That's the thing about improv, is just the adaptability, that you sort of, whatever happens, you just sort of take it as you go. You go along with it. You don't, start over, oh, it's not perfect. Oh, it's not perfect. And I'm really redefining right now, I mean, at least today, really redefining what perfection means. Because perfection and scriptedness can really, really get old. It's like restrain, restrict. Like, if it's not perfect, oh my gosh. No. I would say that the audio that I'm doing right now is perfect because I am just being myself. I am being free to say whatever I want to say and not worrying about it. And and I hope that it's entertaining and interesting. That is really how I, better define perfection. I mean, whatever. Even with the imperfections of things. And, there's certain things, there's certain technicalities and, right and wrongs of life, such as, you put sugar in your cake. You have to put sugar in the cake. Otherwise, what's the point? I mean, that kind of a thing. But, it's just sort of a, call it Bjorn Reed, an intuitive oracle card expert, music artist, spiritual teacher, founder of Oracle School. She had a TV show years ago called Messages from Spirit, called nature in the flowers and the birds in the sky and all of the amenities of it. Awesome. Like think of awe, like, oh, awesome. It captures my eye, like if I were to see birds, crows. Like there was this scene in a series of unfortunate events where if I were to look at crows flying in the sky, and I were to see them flying in the direction, and there's a saying, as the crow flies, literally, and that would be awesome. I was waking up one morning, and I was hearing all these birds in the trees. They were super duper loud, and there's so many of them making so many noise. And I was like, what is that? I have never heard anything like that in my whole entire life. And if you have not seen Alfred Hitchcock's, believe his first name's Alfred, movie, The Birds, I highly recommend that you see that. And I just have these memories of that movie as it is a silent movie. There's no music. It's totally real. It's meant to be real. And these birds attacking these people in this little town. And I just admire events happening gradually in terms of just, like you have a molehill, and then all of a sudden it's like a huge thing. No. It's sort of a build-up. Like if you think of a graph, like you have one bar at one level, then you just raise it up one by one. A stair step, you're just ascending higher, you're just increasing in your amount and volume. That is, how the movie played out. And of course, I'm not going to spoil it. You can go listen to it and watch it on your own. I don't want to give so many things away because that depletes the magic of the movie itself, as if I were to give stuff away. Going through the motions is fine, but for the purpose of the value of the information, the value of the person that you're engaging with, on whatever way that you're doing it. Now, it could be face-to-face communication in the flesh, connection, exchanging of ideas from one to the other, or it could be, I am watching off of somebody's Instagram page all their 1-minute videos, every single one of them, and I have done that. I have sat down at my computer, and I have watched, video upon video upon video, watching all of them since they were 60 seconds. The motive is very, very important. A mere motive. But my intention behind doing it was to go through the motions and to, one after another, check things off the list, check things off that bucket list. No, because that exhausts it, that depletes it, that spoils and gets rid of the value of that particular person, where you've just tired them out, or it out, or a certain series, or a certain playlist, or, something other. Tiring it out. So I would not recommend doing that. Yeah. Now, in terms of, addictions, that you are really, really getting yourself into, it does take discipline. And there is a part of my mind that wants to give in to certain compulsions that I have. But then there's the other part, there's that logical part that's like, no. And I have shut that voice off. I have, like checking if the keyboard's off, if this is, if I have shut the bottle of hand sanitizer, if all these little details are taken care of, I check. And then when I have the obsession, I check consciously. And then after I check consciously, then if I have the compulsion again, I just detach and resist it, and then move on with something else. Get my mind off it, distract myself, etc., etc. That is the way to do it. You know, now, certain things have their in-between flavor. Other things do not. It's either one way or the other way. It's either you go this way or that way, left or right, black or white. And given a situation where I would be, say, going to, a barbecue, somebody, barbecue in the summertime with, cornhole, with different, fruits and vegetables and steak and meat and hot dogs, etc. Cooking and with appetizers and desserts, for 4th of July, for instance. Here's another thing that's just coming up. If things are so perfect and it's like a certain format of where you want to get it right, of where you're just, finding yourself fitting the mold of something, then just relax and be free and allow whatever is to come up and to be, because that is the beauty of life, is that variety, that authenticity, those imperfections of life, the flavor, because that perfection, and like even that has flavor, but it's like if I were to have a strawberry that has less sweetness and less of that rich dark color, and then I have another strawberry which is plump and it's so juicy and refreshing and it's just so. That's the kind of metaphor I want to bring into the picture. But then going back to what I was saying, you are in a situation where it may be somebody, you may be meeting somebody that you just don't like, that you have tried time and time again to get along with, to bond with, to make peace with, to draw the olive branch, to compromise, to sort out any issues. However, the deal is, it's impossible. And, where you need to, where it would be best to cut off and detach from the situation, of where you can't concentrate on the present moment. You can't enjoy yourself. You feel drained. Some, dinner party is taking too long and you're, people pleaser allowing everyone, or, you have to take care of something and you are resisting it. And, this is different from, what I said before, because sometimes whatever you resist comes up in different ways and persists. Like, I can try to push down a thought and relax and be in the present moment. It just keeps coming up and interfering with enjoying the experience. That's when you say, okay, I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to do it consciously. Then I'm going to detach. It's the 3-step process. It is those steps that is really, that are really, really important. Okay, so, that's what I want to say. And those are those steps of where you need to take care of yourself and not to let the good times pass you by. And, there's like a song, don't let the good times pass you, something like that. This is my experience. This is my experience. I mean, I am having so many ideas come to me here. If you are watching a movie, and if you have these little, if you have, let's say, you need to clean your glasses, or if you really, really need to get something, to because your mouth is dry, and if you need to put chapstick on. And you're sitting there while this wonderful performance is happening, while, these people are singing these songs in which you could be so in the moment, so, in the present with, and just sit back, relax, and enjoy it at that state of groundedness and peace, Taurus and Virgo, Taurus versus Virgo, in terms of these signs, they're both wonderful, but in terms of the energies, definitely Taurus, because Virgo ruled by Mercury can be hyper and high strung. But so, you're letting these things happen, and you're missing being in the moment because you can't put a pause on the program and take care of it and follow those steps and then get back to it. It's all a balance. Things are a balance in life of where, if you're watching a movie, you notice that you're getting into that high strung energy of where you want things to be perfect, or where something's on your mind and it's bothering you. Stop, take a pause, take care of it, detach, play the thing again. Don't worry about the experience of watching it being absolutely perfect. That's another thing too. Detachment from that is very important. Now, this could be, if, also if a situation is draining you, if something or someone is, draining you, if you have this urge, this desire, this big dream, and and if you try to sit on it and it's not working, then do something about it. Take action. It depends upon your situation. You need to be realistic upon your situation. I mean, if it's something like, you have gone down the highway and you forgot something, but you're not that far from your house, you can go back and you can grab it. I used that metaphor before, actually. But if it takes too long to take care of, and it's just not practical at that time, relax, ground, be present, take a breath, probably shut your eyes for a moment, and open them again. And that's another thing too. When my mind gets so frazzled and so buzzy with this thought that, that way, and just so many things, I find shutting my eyes and relaxing and breathing and then surrendering to what is, whatever it is, to relax the bones in your body, detach from perfection, detach from outcomes, to relax the nervous system. Who cares if something goes wrong? Okay, there may be something that would go wrong. You may miss a step. You may make a mistake. You may have forgotten something. But here's the silver lining. Were you obsessive about it? Were you high strung, and were you not at peace? Were you not centered? Okay. There comes times when we need to, in the best way we can, balance those out and be okay with mistakes, be okay with things not going exactly right, for us feeling peaceful. Inner peace and healthy, just self respect, self-love, self-care, being in balance, and all of those things are really, really important at this time. And so, and just to sort of throw this, example out there, what if it was sexual attraction? And, and if that is really getting to the point where, I can't focus because I just want this to be met. I just want this desire to be met. Then that may be another time when healthy detachment may need to be, there, with that, that energy of desire, that nervous energy of desire, or that grounded energy of being, of gratitude also for what you have, of, I have things to lean back on. I have a computer, I have a phone, I have family, I have so many things, of not comparing yourself to the objects, the material possessions of other people, of, I don't have this mansion, or, I don't have this pool in my backyard, of all those types of things. The North Node in Taurus is about gratitude. It is about gratitude. And I just want to make this generic of, going to a certain situation, and it may be not, just maybe just someone that let's say someone that you cannot stand. You see that person, and then you tell the host of the party, say, hey, I'm so sorry, but I realize I have this, or maybe, say, and I don't usually stand by this, white lying, but, I have to go. It was so much fun. I'm so sorry I can't stick around. Bye bye. And then detach without, hesitation. Just get in your car, drive away, go home. Prepare yourself a meal for that dinner, and then sit back and watch a movie or watch a show on TV or watch, YouTube or Hulu. Netflix or something, and then have a nice evening, and then wake up that next morning, and then move on. And if that person texts you, say, hey, where are you? Why are you not here? Why are you not doing this, etc. Then how you answer is based off of you. Simply the act of just seeing that text message on your phone, and then shutting it off, putting it aside, ignoring it. Seeing that little wooden sign, and you just see that X, that red X. Nope, no. I'm going to detach. I'm going to ground my mind, be present, and put my attention elsewhere. That is, very important to do. And it's a good little skill, good thing that you can have in your sort of life toolkit. Now, the other thing that I will say is, the thing that has been very interested in. I have a video that just one little thing I want to touch on before I end this constant audio. There was this thing I did a couple days ago, Past Astrology, the North Node in Scorpio, August 27, 2012, through February 23, 2014. I was watching this one video. The thing I do not want to do when I explain what this nodal placement, South Node Taurus, North Node Scorpio, means personally is I do not want to repeat myself over and over again. I don't like repeating myself. I don't want to be one of those people who has limited information and repeating myself. Nope, no. I do not want to be that way. And I tried not to be. Because I really believe in variety, of your words and being creative with what you're saying. So, anyway, I don't want to repeat over and over again that the people who have North Node Scorpio have to listen to others, open up to others, allow others to help them, being receptive to others, allow others into the world. Like, see how I'm repeating myself? It's all about others. No. Bring it back to you and your own personal values. Instead of saying, oh, North Node is in Scorpio, you can't be closed-minded. You have to open up to others and allow others to... No. This isn't about others. This is about relational attachment to the material things and environments that hold you down to where you